Hello everyone, Micah here with Intuitive Flow Friday, and today I'm trying something a little bit different. I personally find the most alignment within myself when I have music going. Um, I it's kind of I'm being shown now that as a child, I had a lot of things happen and a lot of chaos, and so when I have music on, it allows my brain to relax, to take a step back into me, into my universe within, uh, and kind of allows me to be neutral, and I can look at different perspectives within reality from a neutral point without having an emotional attachment to things. So that's why I'm going to have music on today. I'm going to take note of the songs that play, and I'll put a list down below. Maybe I'll make a playlist and link my Spotify, and you can listen along. So, yeah, today I really want to talk about the full moon being in Leo and kind of what that energy is telling us and what it's bringing about and what it's allowing us to see within our reality, right? So first, let's talk about the full moon, right? What is the full moon? What kind of energy does it bring? It brings a lot of magic. It brings a lot of light in the darkness, if you will. You can kind of see a bit further, a bit clearer. The energy is more malleable within the entirety. Uh, it's illuminating. It's using all of the moon's surface with all of the sun's light, well, and not all of it, right? But And then Leo is really about self-expression, movement, and taking charge and being a leader and empowerment and kind of being like a lion, being the pride, like being the face of the pride or being the voice, right? So having that ability to express yourself and see here. So we're on a spiritual journey, right? We're on a spiritual awakening. We're on an ascension where we're learning how to love ourselves and we're learning how to express that love towards others with others in more meaningful connections. And a lot of our disempowerment comes from relationships. And what I'm being shown right now is that a lot of us are probably being reflected back. So my video just got off in the middle of recording it. So I'm not exactly sure what I was saying last, but relationships. So in relationships, which comes in pairs, right? We can have a group relationship, but with each individual, our relationship is drastically different. So when you're looking at, um, specifically what's been being brought to my attention is polyamory, right? And and kind of how polyamory works, and and having multiple sexual partners and the balance of that. And personally, the last 4.5 years or so, I've had the same sexual partner. And before that, there was a certain point in which I I recognized that I was giving something away when I would have sex with people. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because it's like the energy is showing, like, it's not just sex where we're giving ourselves away. It's in relationships where we aren't speaking our truth, where we aren't speaking what truly makes us happy, our love language, right? We each have a different language of love and we each express that love differently. And some conversations that I've overheard, I've been seeing, what's been being, shown to me is not just not just relationships with other people, but relationship with ourselves. Like what relationship do we have with ourselves? And that goes with our body, our mind, and our spirit. How do we interact with ourselves? Because it's how we interact with ourselves that ultimately allows us to interact with the world around us, because it's our internal universe that creates our external universe. And as energies within this earthly field, we are creating a world as we live. We are in the process of making something. We are in the process of um, we're in the process of creating a fifth dimension. We're no longer living in a 3D or even in a 4D. We're transitioning from a third dimension, from a lower reptilian, egoic understanding and expression of love, to a fourth dimension, a heart frequency, a heart base. And that comes with that comes creation of a new earth, of a fifth dimension, of something outside of ourselves that comes from within the heart. It's no longer bypassing love and going to, and only coming from a mental creation. It's allowing the heart frequency, it's allowing the soul, it's allowing the spirit to really infiltrate and kind of move the world around so it's in a harmonious frequency. Like, I have so many synchronicities over here right now. The song playing is by Lizzie Jeff Drip, and this the laptop I have is 3 hours off, so it says 8:01, and I mean that's in association with time. So like the time now us is us creating a fifth dimension, is us having this elevated experience across time space, no matter what it is, right? So what I mean by that is being able to experience something even if it is of a lower frequency, and what is it? Even if it is of a lower frequency, being able to look at it in a neutral perspective and integrate the things that we need to integrate and implement the things that we need to implement within our lives to change what's really happening, to activate our DNA, to step into our fullest potential so we can be in expression, we can be in harmony with all that is, right? And this with a lot of comes with a lot of willingness. Like you have to want, and you have to really truly want to change your life, right? And that's what I'm seeing in this full moon is like the energy is going to be here for a while, but I'm also seeing that the most opportune moment is always now. So why wait, right? Why wait to change your life? Why wait to change your perception on life? Why wait to change your behavior? If it's something that's really causing you dissonance or disassociation within your human self, take a second to look at what's going on in your life, right? Just sit down, write, go for a walk outside by yourself. Take some time to be alone and take some time to really just sit with yourself in silence. I'm telling you, 5 minutes of silence will change your entire life, especially when you have conscious awareness of doing it and you're choosing to do it. You're choosing to be intimate. You're choosing to be vulnerable with yourself. You're opening a door for yourself that you could walk through. And that goes across the board in all relationships. Like, look at where you are choosing not to love yourself in those moments. That's what disempowerment really is. It's like choosing someone else over yourself, right? So in a moment where it's compromise and you compromise and you compromise and you compromise and your needs are never being met in a relationship, that is disempowerment. It's not self-love. So implementing boundaries, this is something else that was coming through. I got a lot of images earlier. That's why I put the music on, because it was getting inundated, and it was like, do it now, right? But yeah, where in your relationships are you allowing someone else to step on your toes? And like, where in your relationships are you not setting boundaries for yourself, with yourself, or with someone else? you know, I guess within the last few weeks, there's been a lot of like inner child work, a lot of sacral chakra work that I've been, not only have I been doing and I've been seeing be done, but like it's in the air. Like these are the chakras that we're really taking a look at. We're taking a look at our solar plexus and our inner child, and we're looking how our human is programmed. We're looking at the root of who we are. We're looking at the root of what we are. We're looking at the root of all that is and where that comes from, and what really is going on in the world. And a lot of people who are awakening or have been on this spiritual path, no matter where you're at in time space, it's unraveling very quickly, right? It's unfolding very quickly. Things are coming to light very quickly. I can tell you within the last 2 years, my life has done 5 360s, and I'm sitting here right now in front of you, like expressing that, you know? And it's it's us stepping into our sovereignty, us being our own hero, being able to express ourselves in our full truth. Because my truth and your truth, they're both not wrong truths. They're both truths, though, because we're coming from two different perspectives. Like the question is, are we able to talk about it in a neutral aspect and a neutral perspective? Are we able to set aside our egos and really have that conversation? And a lot of the energy right now is really that. Where are you holding yourself back where you can't have these conversations? Just a prime example of this is coming to mind right now. Yesterday, my partner and I, we were walking down to the store to return a Redbox movie, and I brought, like, because I was talking about polyamory earlier, I was talking, like, it was bringing to mind, like, I wonder, like, the people who have had or do have multiple sexual partners in an intimate soul connection, like they're able to have like a whole, like two wholes coming together and creating a special moment. Like I think about I think about that, and I think about, like, can you do that in a polyamorous aspect? And so, like, her and I were talking about this, and I was coming from a neutral perspective, saying like it's not something that I'm interested in, but I know there are people out there that explore that avenue, and I was just expressing like my perspective on the whole deal, and I brought to her attention, like, she was coming from it, like, from the idea or the mindset of, well, I wouldn't do it, so I can't understand, or I don't understand why someone else would want to do it. And it's just the energy, right? The energy is allowing us to bend our mind like that so we can think outside the box and be like, yeah, well, maybe I wouldn't do something like that, but is the pot, like, someone else's experience could is completely different, so they could potentially be able to have polyamorous relationships and have them all be fulfilling and be love filled, right? That's possible. For me, I in this moment in time, I don't see that. Like, I see us as divine beings being split into pairs, and those pairs, we have like there's like an ultimate oversoul, ascended soul pair, like the most divine pair that you could be. And that's kind of how I personally have come to understand the energy of the soul. And through this understanding, right, I have sat with polyamory, and how that love is split and division, and like understanding why people venture down that, right? Do you? Nothing's wrong, nothing's right. It is as it is. If that is what makes you happy, that's what makes you happy. But these are like, this is what the energy is bringing out. Like, how can you expand your consciousness? Where can you speak your truth, even if it is going to trigger or feel some type of way towards someone else? Where can you set your boundaries, even if it's gonna make someone else feel some type of way? Because at the end of the day, we are responsible for how we feel, and we have to take care of ourselves. And this energy just wants us to see where we are disempowering ourselves, where we aren't speaking our truth. I mean, we're meant to be not proud, right? But we're meant to be we're meant to be able to express ourselves confidently in our authenticity within our full vibration, no matter what that is looking like in that moment, without judgment. So it doesn't matter whether you're like hard off on drugs and in that in that experience, or you are a spiritual guru, or you have already been there and transcended some sort of darkness and are on a different path. We are all in unison learning and creating this world of experience, and the all truly is everything and nothing all at the same time. It just exists, right? The source, God, however you want to look at it. Like, it's these um this song, I'm telling you, this is why I do music, special occasion. So it's it's the flowering, right? We When you step into source energy, you step into that divinity that we all carry within ourselves, right? You see that we are right here, right now, each experiencing something different, but all of the same energy, just just expressed a little bit differently. It's all the same thing. We all have universes, we all have planets, we all have stars. We all have a different tune in the one song, and we have just been, as the song's saying, we've been waiting for this occasion, right? We've been waiting to open these doors, and we've been waiting to all be able to shine as the rainbows that we are. And this energy is like, hey, if you're ready, let's go. It'll come back around, but if you're ready right now, let's go. Because we're about to go for a ride, and we ain't coming back. And why not take that? Why not dive deep into that? Allow yourself to immerse yourself in those holes. Dive deep, as Ralph Smart says. Don't be afraid to be a dot, like Phil Good says. All of these intertwine to make up the all that we are. When you dive deep, you realize that there's truths out there that aren't being told, and then you realize that there's other aspects to life that you can't even fathom because you've been looking in this one direction with blinders on. Like, that's how we have been programmed from youth up, with especially within American society, American culture. Like, just do your own research. It's all there. And ascension, spiritual awakening, is the recognition of something outside of self, the lifting of a veil, realizing that even there's nothing outside of self, that it all is within, and we all like intertwined with this energy. And yeah, we're going to space, guys, and it's just beautiful. And we're not meant to suffer, and the reason we suffer is because of the way that we perceive life, right? It's our perception of life that causes us to suffer, because you can be the poorest man on earth and not suffer. And I mean that because you don't have to have money to be happy, to be peaceful, to have serenity. It's all about how you are perceiving, or what you're taking from and putting out into the world. Like, it really is just this interwovenness of beauty, that's just one thing have like just I can't even like it's just beautiful, like really beautiful when you stop and realize that, like, we are not the all, but we are the all incarnate, right? In a sense, we embody that frequency, and we have the ability to experience the creation that we have created. We can be present within the creation that we have created. And then we get to co-create and create new realities, to create new experiences, to build a reality that is harmonious, that is love-filled. Not that this doesn't already exist. It's just a matter of all of us rising and resonating with this existence, and then going out and implementing it into the physical world. That's how you build the fifth dimension. Build the fifth dimension, we can go from there. And this is, we have time because time allows the waves, because everyone learns differently, to kind of come online. Literally, that's, we say come online, but we're unplugging to plug into something different. And by that I mean we're unplugging from this technology. If I didn't take time for myself outside of this, I wouldn't be able to make this. I wouldn't be able to connect to source. I wouldn't be able to channel the energy that I do. The information that I've gotten from the universe, the things that I've learned through living, those experiences elicit knowledge, which then turns into wisdom, because I'm able to talk about the things that I've experienced and give that wisdom to you, right? And I'm not even giving it. It's not even me giving it. It's just me sharing what I've experienced, and knowing that if you're watching the video, that you will pick up what you resonate with. That's the beauty. And that's how meditation works, right? You sit down in meditation, and we each are touching the same energy in a different way through different mediums, because we're all different, but it's all the same thing. And no one path is wrong, and no one path is right. It all leads to us ultimately becoming, or going back into the very thing that we started from, the all, or source, or God, and just unifying. And we have the ability to touch this consciousness, this level of consciousness, and this understanding. Before we get there, we have the ability to experience this and bring it and create heaven on earth, fifth dimension here, to bring that love, to bring that light, to really embody the all that we are, the truth, the authenticity, that highest vibration that resides within us. So yeah. Let's see. Ooh. So that's gonna look something different. Never mind. Some birds outside. I don't think. Yeah. Self love, self expression, self awareness, consciousness. Relationships in regarding to work too. That's something that just came through. So yeah, I think that's everything I have. It's just the full moon affects everyone differently. So just make sure you're taking the time to stay hydrated, rest, recharge, meditate, do manifestation, like rituals, or whatever. Like, do those things. The energy is ripe for it. The full moon loves for us to connect, and not even the full moon, but like that divine feminine shines through beautifully, and taking action in that divine feminine is divine masculine. So yeah, do what you need to for you. It's what we're here for, and our hearts connect in those moments, right? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you for joining me on Intuitive Flow Friday. It's a full moon in Leo, so let's take it. Let's use that energy. Let's get it. So, infinite love, infinite light, infinite movement. Namaste.